Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. How are you all doing today? So my name is Francine, and this is my channel, the Oversoul Archives, where I cater to the topics that affect us as humans, the things that we are dealing with and addressing in this life, and also the things that come through from our spirit team. So my spirit team has been kind of encouraging me to talk more because I haven't had a story time in forever. Plus I love feeling, allowing myself to access vulnerable states in my, my experience that I don't really share as much as I used to, it's more so the opposite. I didn't share this a lot back in the day, and I feel like I'm more so opening up to sharing aspects of myself and of being authentic with my journey. So if you guys know me, my name is Francine. As I said, I am a mystic. I have been on here on YouTube, or rather on my spiritual journey. Let's go back a little bit. So I've been here since 2020. So about 5 years ago, I think since March, I have been tapping in to collective energies, but also to the spirit world through tarot. So it's been 5 years. So it's only been 5 years that I've been doing this. But it's something that I've been doing for lifetimes. Okay, so it's something that came easily to me. It's something that drew me in. And the moment I reflected and knew that Christianity was not for me, that religion was not for me, and not saying I don't value the core beliefs and fundamental truths, but I feel like I felt the urging to explore my past lives, my incarnations prior, and it has led me to this point of integrating. Integration is really what I'm about in this life. Integration of the light and the dark, of the masculine and of the feminine. Integration and finding a way to build something new with that. So I've been going through a paradigm shift, and I've been going through a lot of lessons that I've addressed with love. And I feel like there's a message for love that will relate to me that I will get into as a story time, but I'm going to direct it through what oracle card comes through, because I feel like we can go everywhere with a story time. I can go into so many different things, but I want to see what direction my spirit team, my ancestors, my guides, and what direction your spirit team, your ancestors, maybe there's one in particular that's coming through for you that has a name that starts with an A. And I'm also hearing ancestors from inner earth. So we have some ancestors from inner earth that want to talk to you. Okay, so let's just see what comes through. We had one that I'll show you in a second. What messages would you like me to share, spirit team? So we have two cards. I heard Asherah. So someone here needs to look into Asherah. This is a deity that will be very helpful to you. People know her by various names. I'm not going to go into specifically one that people tend to judge right off the bat. Please look into Asherah, Asherah. They're calling to you, and likely she's going to be helping me with this reading, because I feel like that she is like the epitome, or symbolizes something with the feminine energy that you guys need to explore. So the first card we have here is Only Time Will Tell. Only time will tell. And I saw the word misnomer. So I don't know what misnomer means. I've heard this word. It's just like, you know, when you know something, but you don't know what the exact words are. I don't know the exact definition of misnomer, but there's some misunderstandings that we have about people sometimes, and only time will dictate what we find out about these people. Okay, so there's something about misunderstandings that I'm going to talk about with love. Misconceptions, seeing someone through a lens that is not true, right? Seeing them in the way that you want to see them, but not seeing them for who they are. And this is completely, right? This is not romanticizing a person to the extent to where you forget that there are negative qualities or traits or things that are being healed in a person, and just kind of like glossing over them or ignoring them completely, especially when they're really big ones, right? That's something I might go into, and I feel like I should go into. And then beware of what you're projecting. For the qualities you admire in one another are qualities you both possess. Equally so, the qualities you don't like are also your own reflection. So true. I feel like every experience has been for a purpose. It hasn't been for nothing. So for me, with love, I've gone through the gamut with karmic relationships and with people that I believed were divine partnerships. So it feels as though we're talking about misunderstandings with people, seeing people for who they are, seeing them in like the reality of the person and not just the fantasy that you create in your mind of this person, right? Of seeing the qualities they possess that are great and the qualities that they possess that are not so great, and seeing how it reflects you, how you are reflected back at this person, because the relationship started from some attractive, some magnetic energy towards you, with you and this person. So with me and the people I've known in the past, this is why I don't go on here and just kind of go off on people or talk shit about other people, because I feel like at the end of the day, it reflects an aspect of me, and it reflects an aspect of you, and you, the viewers, and the people you deal with on a daily basis or deal with your life. I feel like we all can learn something from the people that we don't quite like. So I feel like it figures that this would come through. So for today, I wanted to talk about the importance here, because I was thinking about what the title or what the focus would be, is seeing the perceptions of people and seeing them for who they are. And it's funny that this came through. I heard ramblings. I feel like the ramblings that we have in our mind are not useless. The ramblings of other people in videos and readings are not useless. Sometimes it takes like a second to get to a place to express what's really trying to come through. And you don't have to be perfect. I think that's what prevents people from speaking. And that's what's happened to me in the past, is thinking that I have to have this written out in some weird format where I have to present it as if I'm in a classroom, when I'm not. I'm literally taking ownership of a channel and doing what I want to do, right? Why should I always come expecting to report to the collective as if you guys are like surveying me or rating me? I don't need a rating. This is something that is an experience that either you resonate with or you don't. And that's the beauty of it, right? You're not forced to watch it for like a book report. You're not forced to go through with this in order to take a test. This is for you if you feel drawn to me and my energy. So that's the beauty of it. There's thousands, millions of people that are doing things in their own way. So that's what brought me here today, is the realization that I don't have to come here with a list of things to tell you guys, because it's more authentic when I actually go through the motions mentally with the process. And you can see it as well on my face, in my words, what comes through naturally and organically rather than what's rehearsed. Okay, so I'm here with my selenite, right? Because I need to cleanse the energies earlier. I personally have been through a number of karmic situations with people. Okay, there was a time in which I thought I was actually with my divine partner, meaning like a twin flame. And this was in the beginning of my relationship to the divine, like my relationship to my spirituality in 2020. That was a really hectic time in and of itself, without any spirituality or anything like that. It was a very hectic time for many people. Many of us were at home. We were not sure what we were gonna, like what our life was gonna look like and where we were gonna get our money from if you were laid off. Okay, thankfully I was not, but I was in a place where I didn't feel like I wanted to go and work a 9-to-5 when I'm just adjusting and getting to know myself as a person, as a single person at the time, right? Singlehood, I was single in 2020. And I remember just thinking to myself, okay, so I don't like this job I'm at. I'm in HR. I'm a Virgo, and I love certain things about HR, but I was not about the hours. I was not about the piling up of work for pay that was not up to par with what I needed for myself. And I was over it. So I stayed home during COVID, didn't want to come in, let them know, hey, if I can't work from home like everyone else, I'm not coming back. And there were a lot of other things that were happening at that time. So I spent all my time with my cards, with my tarot cards. Mind you, you would say that is so irresponsible. Like, that is so like dumb. Why would you like leave your job during COVID? You need money, you need this and that. Well, I saved up, but either way, I also just knew in my heart that that was not for me. Someone special came into my life, a reader that started working there right before I left. And she did not talk about being a reader. She literally was one of the people that came in on a project to work for the company I was in. And she sat down with me and was going through kind of like I was training her on what to do in HR. And I just remembered like having like a conversation with her and mentioning someone I knew. And she said, oh, you know my friend? And we got into this whole conversation about her friend who did my locks back in the day. If you guys know me, I had locks like down to my waist back when I started this channel. I had other channels too. And I cut that off. I said, I need to start over. I need to start fresh. So I cut my hair and have been going through a journey in and of itself with my appearance, with my confidence, with beauty itself, with seeing my worth or seeing my beauty without my hair looking a certain way for you guys, of allowing myself to not have to show it off, right, as well, because that is another thing that people do think about is how do I want to look to people? How do I want people to see me? I have to look professional or whatever that means. You know, there are certain aspects of the experience as a woman, specifically a woman of color, that have been very pivotal in these 5 years. Not a lot of time, guys. I had a lot of things. But I met someone special through work, and that person introduced me more to tarot. And literally I started because someone came to my job that felt like they should work there for about 3 months. No, it was actually a couple days. This person came for 3 days to work on something for our company, and I learned that they were a tarot reader, and the rest is history. Literally, that person became someone I talked to, someone I had readings with, and someone that taught me the basics. Okay, so this is like all like divine timing. So if you guys are feeling drawn to get into tarot or to get into having your own platform of doing something like that, just know everything will come through for you the way it's meant to, and you're going to have the resources that you need that are going to be dedicated to that channel. You're going to have the finances to take care of yourself in various ways. Just be open to how it comes through, because it may be distinctly different for you, more different than it was for me. So I started this journey 5 years ago during COVID, after leaving my job that I had and saying I want to focus in on my spiritual growth and ascension. I'm not feeling like I have time to do that. I'm too tired when I get home. So love was a big part of also the push towards spirituality. And so with love, the karmic relationships, both at work at the time and the karmic relationships prior, and they commingled with religion. Okay, so I have a very strong karmic pattern or karmic experience with religion, and I feel like that's significant for you guys as well, and that's why I'm mentioning it. Christianity and other sects were very important for me. Recognizing that I don't need to be or conform to the image of someone or what people perceive someone to be, including myself. So I needed to break out of that. And love was a big part of breaking out of that, love for myself, because there were people that thought and projected an image of who they thought I was when they met me. And I latched onto that. I allowed myself to please people, to focus on how I could make people like me more, to be more attractive to the opposite sex, to make them more interested in me. I felt like the opposite sex was like a complete like mystery, because I was raised religiously. And when I say religiously, meaning I didn't see any, like do anything or see anything up until I was in my 20s. So I didn't have the experience of being around guys. I was so religious that we would sit in opposite rooms or in opposite places from the opposite sex. Does that sound normal? That's pretty conditioned. So I was very conditioned with the opposite sex, and I felt like that didn't feel right to me. Why should I feel so uncomfortable with them? And so love was very uncomfortable for me. I was a very open person when I met someone that felt and was a soul member, a soul tribe member. But oftentimes we can fantasize or think that the person, because they're familiar to us, is meant to be in our lives long term, when they're not. So there's something about soul tribe, okay? No matter where they are your soul tribe. They are your soul members. They are your soul family. There's a distinction between being a soul family member and being like a lover, or being like a partner, or being like a best friend even. Some people come across your path they're not meant to always be like that person that's long-term in your life. They're meant to be a sign and a symbol of an aspect of yourself that is also shared, you know. So there was something about me needing to learn that not everyone had a very uptight, in a sense, upbringing like I did religiously, and that there are a lot of people out there that were hurting, and that were hurting other people, and that were traumatized and were going through very difficult things in their lives before I met them. But I naturally thought it was my job and duty to help people and to help my soul tribe and to be what someone needed, at the expense of my soul, my openness to being myself, with that person, of my openness to expecting love in the form that was best for me, that catered to me. I was accepting of a lot of things, and this is something I think empaths can agree with. We all are, like, to some extent, we come to a place of recognition of when we've given too much to someone, and when we need to withdraw. We need to place that love and that adoration and that attention onto ourselves instead of onto another person. I looked outside of myself for validation, to know that I was being a good person and that I was being and doing right by other people. I relied on their response to me. I relied on their feelings towards me to reflect what I felt about myself. And so that was the issue. And in love, if you guys are going through something like that, where you're expressing like a desire for a partner, a desire for a relationship, but you are putting in more than the other person is, and you are being way more bare with them, like baring your soul, your heart, everything to a person, and they're not returning it, and they're returning it with suspicion, they're returning it with coldness, they're returning it with detachment, they're returning it with playing this game of, I'm interested in you, I'm not interested in you now. I'm interested in you now, I'm not interested in you now. I'll text you at night, but I won't hang out with you in the morning. I won't tell you that I have kids when I actually am married with kids. Like, this is like crazy shit, right? But this is not as crazy as you think it is. This is very common. People will have entire lives crafted and placed in different people, with different people in their lives, and they will not tell you until you find out yourself, or until karma and negative karma at that comes back and hits them in the face, or really gives them a dose. And I'm hearing daily dose of medicine. There are some people that you've left at the wayside that are still thinking about you, and it's because of the daily dose of medicine that they're experiencing. And this is not because we like, there's like something in the background. Yeah, it's not because we're like excited about people dealing with stuff like this. It's just the reality of what it means to dish out what comes back. it will come back to you eventually, no matter who you are in this world. I feel like we need to remember that energy just is not going, it's not conditional. It doesn't like certain people and hate other people. It's just a matter of an exchange, okay? So there's an exchange. If you're giving out negativity, if you're giving out a lot of the things that you see in the world, your perceptions of people in the world, of what they deserve, and you're not giving to people, not trying to show up for people, but you're expecting that all of that back, you're going to see that people are not going to be giving to you as much, or you're going to end up in situations where you end up with people that are the exact same way. I feel like that's significant. So we have this color. I've been holding this because I feel like I needed to say that before I started this, and the sound outside kind of like made me feel like this was the perfect time. So purple, number 39 is here. Someone may have had something significant happen to them at 39, or there's something about when you turn 39, there's something significant happening in your life. And I feel like this is, I'm hearing deepening, but then I also heard regret. So there's something about maybe something regretful happening at 39 for you that you're addressing or you're thinking about. I'm hearing shift. So purple is about authority. I feel like there's something about, regardless of your age, okay, there's something about you taking on the authority of knowing that you are in control and that you have the domain, like your domain, your reality is in your hands. It's not in anyone else's hands. So your spirit team is trying to, through this story time, a little bit of story time and a little bit of like talking about love, is trying to tell you that you have the authority to dictate what you want to see in your reality going forward. What have you learned? What lessons have you guys learned? And I'm feeling congested for some reason, and I wasn't earlier. So I'm hearing magenta is also significant. Please look into wearing more purple and magentas. I feel like that's coming through for a reason. Someone may be named magenta or have like some significant relationship to the color. Something about that is significant if it's going to come up today. So with love, projections are so important, of being aware of when you're projecting on people and when they're actually not. This is like an example. For instance, what if there could be a person in your life that you perceive or project something onto that is actually nothing like that. The qualities that you may look out for and may be very hesitant to explore or to see in other people, you may be expressing that and getting and attracting people that may act that way. But are they really that way? There's something about you needing to see what's reality and what's a projection. So my spirit team wants me to talk about that as well. And in my own life, I feel like I've had projections of people. I feel as though intuitively there's going to be people across my path that I'm going to experience that will come off as a player because of the experience I've had with players, like literal players. I've actually learned that players come in a variety of forms. Not all players are doing it because they like hurting people, but they actually are just exhibiting the same actions, the same characteristics, the same vibe, the same swag, or the same energy, but they're also doing it for various reasons to fill something within them that is lacking, or what they perceive to be lacking here. So there's something about anxiety, and there's sometimes people in your life that will come across your path that look like they are trying to like woo you or trying to look macho or whatever, that are really anxious. Sometimes some of us tend to use certain mechanics or mechanisms in the form of social interactions and social cues as a way to integrate or to adapt to society. In other words, masking, in order to not in order to get people to like them. So a lot of the people that you see that you would deem to be players could just be masking, and they could also, if this is if you're meeting someone and you just look at them, right? Your spirit team wants you to be careful with looking at someone who may seem like a player but is really just masking and trying to be comfortable in public, because they've seen guys that do that getting positive results, or girls that do it getting positive results from people around them. Because usually people perceive players to be like a fun time, or people that you can kind of chill with and drink with and smoke with and all that. But in reality, this person's not actually a player. They're just used to being and acting like it. but when you get to know them, they're actually like a nerd or something, or they're just not, they're not as what's it called, they're not thoroughly what they try to express to people. So that's for somebody here. But yeah, I've known people that were very quiet, that were chameleons of sorts, that I had interests in back in the day. And there's one in particular that's a very huge karmic person that I am currently healing from, that I met back when. This was a long time for me. This was before COVID. This person has been coming up as a means for me to address, so that I can heal, and so that I can cut the ties, cut the cords, and so that I can really honor what I've learned through this experience. Because I've learned so much in such a short period of time with this one person that I may have had to learn with like 10 other people if I had not gone through what I had gone through. So I have gratitude for this person, because I literally went through so much agonizing pain with this person that I literally feel like it has to be so that I can get this all out and all done, so that I can actually speak to people about it, you know, because yeah, you know that term, hurt people hurt people. This person hurt me really badly, to the point of where I am no longer even talking to them, seeing them, experiencing them, but I had to run away from the situation in order to heal, and I'm just now feeling comfortable with healing. There are people in this group that are still healing from situations with people that they've known for years, and like that they had to run away from, that they had to say enough's enough. Like, I am over it. I am over it. I am over like the illusions. I am over thinking this would work, or this could happen back when. This was in 2020, 2019 actually. There are people out there that are really hungry for purity, for innocence, and so they look for people. They look for people that spark that. And there's also people that look to mothering energies. And I was unaware of my feminine energy, and I was unaware that I was attracting those people, because I was under the impression that no one would take advantage of me being naive, because I had this really naive understanding of the world. And I thought, if I'm kind to people, if I'm good to people, they'll be good to me, right? I learned real easy that like real fast, and about how that's not the case. That just means you'll just experience a lot of pain, because that person doesn't understand quite yet where that's coming from, and if that's authentic, and they're not sure if you're really as nice as you say you are, or that you act, or as nice as you act, and so they kind of like try to break you. I've had people attempt to break me a lot, to the point to where I know when to withdraw from people, and when to really assess my feelings and why I was drawn to them, and then to address why I feel like I need their validation. So if you guys are ever curious about specific scenarios, I could come on here about that, but I just wanted to give you guys an overview that I have been through a lot. And if you guys ever feel like you want to talk, please feel free to talk. If you'd like to, just by going through my description box, please check out my email address and reach out to me if you'd like. If you feel drawn to my energy and you feel like you want to talk about it, I would be open to sharing or talking with you. I may come on here with specific scenarios once I have some kind of like clear-cut way of addressing all of these karmic relationships, and also people that I considered, one person in particular I considered to be my twin flame. I would love to talk about that, because the whole twin flame dynamic, I don't have any hatred towards it, but I do see its purpose. It's not what people may think. I think it's definitely meant to fast track you to your destiny, but I don't think I think it exists. I just think that it is definitely not, the purpose of it is not what people are saying it is most, right? There's always someone that's speaking and that vibrates or resonates with what I'm saying. There are people out there that are seeing that as well, but it's definitely not for reunion. It's definitely for you to, anyways, it's definitely for your purpose and destiny of reaching as many people and of addressing the denseness of it, the denseness of seeing your shadows in a person, all of the things you don't like about yourself in a person, and having it projected back at you. It's definitely a very good way to see all of the things you need to see in yourself in a short period of time. So I just yeah, I really do want to come on here and do more like videos like this, kind of combine it with like readings for you guys, but love is on my mind. I was gonna do a future spouse reading for you guys, but I feel like I needed to talk about the past, because the past is actually leaking into things that I want to do. It's because it needs to be, it's like the culmination of all of those woundings are coming to the surface so that I can address it, because I think other people are addressing it. I'm doing this on June 13th, I believe, 2025. So there's something about the season, something about the time frame. No matter when you see this, as it's timeless, it's my experience. There's something about when you see this, remembering what has transpired so far and what is transpiring astrologically is significant as well, because we had our full moon on the 11th, I believe, where I am, at least where I am. So twin flame dynamics, karmic connections and such, they can be really, really transformative and pivotal for your ascension process. So please see it as a means to ascending, a means to growing, a means to loving deeper and harder for people, because you see the things in yourself that you denied, all of them in another person. And it's like, even if you didn't expressly deny it, sometimes there are aspects of ourselves that we keep caged or keep locked up, and we kind of keep a guard out for. You know, you don't want to see certain aspects of yourself, but you'll see them when you're on a path of ascension. You will see them, and you will go through all of that. So I'm here with you guys. If you have anything that you'd like to talk about specifically, or like me to talk about in the future, I just want to keep this as short as I can, because my energy is I'm seeing how precious this energy exchange is more and more every day. And I only do it when I feel like it's meant to, and it feels like it's starting to taper. So if you guys would like to see more of this, like I said, please let me know. But I will end it here, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Take care.